In the sprawling city of Johannesburg, amidst its vibrant culture and dynamic energy, lived a boy named Joseph. Born into a modest family, Joseph was known for his sharp intellect and kind heart. His father, Samuel, was a schoolteacher, and his mother, Miriam, was a nurse. They worked hard to provide for their children, Joseph and his younger sister, Kelly. From an early age, Joseph showed remarkable intelligence. He excelled in school, often outperforming his peers. His teachers praised him, and his parents beamed with pride, seeing a bright future for their son. Joseph's dream was to become a doctor, driven by a desire to help others and improve the lives of those in his community. Joseph's best friend, Thomas, was always by his side. They shared laughter, dreams, and a bond that seemed unbreakable. Thomas lived next door, and the two boys had been inseparable since they could walk. They attended the same school, played together in the dusty streets, and even shared meals. However, as they grew older, a shadow of envy began to cloud Thomas's heart. He watched as Joseph received accolades and admiration, while he remained in the background. This jealousy festered, slowly turning Thomas's friendship into resentment. When they were 16, the two friends often discussed their future. Joseph was focused and driven, his goal to become a doctor unwavering. Thomas, though he had no clear ambitions, envied Joseph's clarity and determination. One fateful day, Thomas overheard his grandmother, a known traditional healer, speaking about an ancient spell that could alter someone's destiny. Driven by jealousy, he approached her, pretending it was for a friend. Thomas's grandmother, Gogo Nana, was a wise and respected healer. She had dedicated her life to helping others, using her knowledge of herbs and ancient spells to heal and protect. When Thomas approached her with his request, she was reluctant. She had always taught him the importance of using their ancestral knowledge for good, and she sensed the darkness in his heart. However, Thomas was persistent, pleading with her until she gave in. She handed him a small pouch filled with strange herbs and whispered the incantation, warning him of the consequences of misusing such power. Thomas, trembling with a mix of fear and excitement, took the pouch and waited for the right moment. His mind was a whirlwind of emotions. He knew what he was about to do was wrong, but his jealousy had taken hold, clouding his judgment. One evening, while they were studying together at Joseph's home, Thomas saw his chance. Joseph's parents were out, and his sister Kelly was playing with friends. The house was quiet, the perfect setting for Thomas's dark deed. He slipped the herbs into Joseph's drink, murmuring the spell under his breath. Joseph, unsuspecting, drank it. Within moments, his vision blurred, and he collapsed, writhing in pain. Thomas watched in horror and fascination as his friend's promising future crumbled. Joseph's parents returned home to find their son unconscious. They were frantic, taking him to doctors and healers, but no one could explain his sudden ailment. His once brilliant mind seemed shattered, and he often rambled incoherently. He could no longer concentrate on his studies and dropped out of school just before his matric exams. The community whispered about curses and dark magic, but no one knew the truth except Thomas, who was consumed with guilt and fear. Joseph's family was devastated. They had pinned their hopes on him, believing he would be the one to lift them out of poverty. Samuel and Miriam exhausted their savings, seeking help from every possible source, but nothing worked. Joseph's condition worsened, and he became a shadow of his former self. Kelly, who had always looked up to her brother, was heartbroken, unable to understand what had happened to the person she admired most. Unable to bear the shame and confusion, Joseph left his home. He wandered the streets of Johannesburg, a shadow of his former self. His clothes became tattered, and his once bright eyes grew dull. He survived on the kindness of strangers, begging for food and shelter. The city's heartless bustle swallowed him, and he became just another face in the crowd. For years, Joseph drifted through life, his mind a tangled web of fragmented memories and unfulfilled dreams. He lived in a perpetual state of confusion, unable to remember his past clearly or envision a future. The streets became his home, and he adapted to the harsh realities of his new life. As he wandered, Joseph encountered others like him, people who had fallen through the cracks of society. He formed bonds with fellow beggars, sharing stories and survival tips. Despite his condition, Joseph's innate kindness shone through, and he often shared whatever little he had with others. His companions came to respect him, recognizing the intelligence that still flickered beneath his confused exterior. During his wanderings, Joseph would sometimes find himself in places that triggered vague memories. The park where he used to play as a child, the library where he had spent hours studying, and the school he once attended. These places brought brief flashes of clarity, but they were always fleeting, leaving him more confused and frustrated. As Joseph turned 25, the city that had seemed so cruel for so long began to show him a rare kindness. One bright morning, while he was resting near a public park, a beautiful young woman named Lisa noticed him. She was captivated by his eyes, which despite their dullness, held a certain depth of sorrow and intelligence. Lisa was a kind-hearted woman who worked as a social worker. She had a small garden behind her house and needed help maintaining it. Driven by compassion, she approached Joseph and offered him a job. At first, he was wary, but something in her gentle demeanor reassured him. He accepted her offer, and thus began a new chapter in his life. Working in Lisa's garden brought a semblance of peace to Joseph. The physical labor grounded him, and the beauty of the flowers and plants offered solace to his troubled mind. Lisa, noticing his hard work and dedication, began to spend more time with him. She taught him about gardening, sharing her knowledge and wisdom. Joseph, though still battling his inner demons, found a sense of purpose in his work. Lisa's home became a sanctuary for Joseph. She provided him with clean clothes, nutritious food, and a safe place to sleep. Slowly, the layers of grime and despair that had enveloped him began to peel away. His health improved, and his mind became clearer. The fog that had clouded his thoughts for so long started to lift, and he began to remember fragments of his past. Months passed, and the bond between Joseph and Lisa grew stronger. She saw past his ragged exterior and broken mind, glimpsing the kind soul within. Joseph, though still battling his inner demons, found himself drawn to her warmth and kindness. They often spent evenings together, talking about life, dreams, and the future. One evening, under the starlit sky, Joseph found the courage to share his past with Lisa. He spoke of his family, his dreams, and the mysterious ailment that had stolen his future. Lisa listened intently, her heart aching for him. She vowed to help him uncover the truth and regain his lost life. Their relationship blossomed into love, and in a small, heartfelt ceremony, they got married. For the first time in years, Joseph felt a sense of belonging and hope. Lisa's love became his anchor, and together, they embarked on a journey to reclaim his past. Lisa's family welcomed Joseph with open arms. Her parents, James and Tina, admired his resilience and determination. They supported the couple in their quest to uncover the truth about Joseph's condition. With their encouragement, Joseph and Lisa began to piece together the puzzle of his past. Determined to understand what had happened to Joseph, Lisa began researching traditional healing and spells. She visited healers and elders, seeking answers. Her quest led her to an old healer named Mma Lulu, who spoke of dark spells that could destroy lives. With a heavy heart, Lisa realized that Joseph had likely been bewitched. She confronted Thomas, who by now was a respected member of the community but lived with the constant guilt of his actions. Under Lisa's persistent questioning, he finally confessed to what he had done. Overwhelmed with remorse, he agreed to help reverse the spell. Thomas's grandmother, Gogo Nana, was shocked and saddened by her grandson's actions. She agreed to help undo the damage, knowing that it was the only way to restore balance and heal the wounds that had been inflicted. She prepared a cleansing ritual, using powerful herbs and ancient chants. Joseph, supported by Lisa and a repentant Thomas, underwent the ritual. It was a painful process, but as the spell was lifted, clarity slowly returned to Joseph's mind. He felt as though a heavy burden had been lifted, and the fog that had clouded his thoughts for so long began to dissipate. The journey to full recovery was long and arduous. Joseph had to relearn many things, and the scars of his past lingered. However, with Lisa by his side, he persevered. He reconnected with his family, who welcomed him back with open arms, and slowly began to rebuild his life. Samuel and Miriam were overjoyed to see their son return to them. They had never given up hope, praying every day for his safe return. Kelly, now a young woman, was thrilled to have her brother back. The family was complete once more, and they worked together to help Joseph regain his footing. Joseph resumed his education, determined to fulfill his dream of becoming a doctor. With Lisa's support, he enrolled in a community college, working tirelessly to catch up on the years he had lost. His journey was challenging, but his determination and resilience saw him through. Thomas, seeking redemption, devoted himself to community service, working alongside Joseph to mend the damage he had caused. He became an advocate for mental health, using his experience to raise awareness about the dangers of jealousy and the importance of seeking help. Thomas and Joseph's friendship was rekindled, based on mutual respect and a shared commitment to helping others. Joseph's story spread throughout Johannesburg, inspiring many. He became an advocate for mental health and traditional healing, using his experience to help others. His journey from a promising student to a beggar and back to a respected member of the community was a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. Years passed, and Joseph and Lisa's love only grew stronger. They had children, whom they raised with the values of kindness, resilience, and forgiveness. Joseph, once a beggar lost to the streets, had found his way back, not just to his family, but to himself. Lisa continued her work as a social worker, helping those in need and making a difference in the community. She and Joseph often spoke at schools and community centers, sharing their story and inspiring others to overcome their challenges. Their children, Asher and Simon, grew up with a deep appreciation for the importance of helping others and the power of love. This story is a lesson about envy, redemption, and the power of love. It was a reminder that no matter how lost one might feel, there is always hope for a new beginning. And so, the story of the clever child who was bewitched by his jealous friend but found his way back through the power of love and forgiveness, lived on, inspiring generations to come. Joseph and Lisa's home became a symbol of hope and healing. They opened a community center, offering support and resources to those in need. The center provided education, mental health services, and traditional healing, bridging the gap between modern medicine and ancestral knowledge. Thomas, now a respected elder, continued to work alongside Joseph and Lisa. He had found peace and purpose in helping others, and his past misdeeds were forgiven. He often shared his story with the younger generation, teaching them about the dangers of envy and the importance of integrity.